Tonight, we bring you one of the most bizarre and disturbing stories unfolding right now in the United States. A case that's still ongoing, still debated, still controversial, and unlike anything we've covered before. A group that some call a cult, others call a radical movement, and to law enforcement, they are a growing national security threat. How did this group that began in Reddit forums and Google Docs evolve into a national security threat? And in a matter of years, be connected to weapons stockpiles, cross-country violence, and multiple confirmed deaths? What really happened in Vallejo, in Vermont, in Pennsylvania? And how far were its members willing to go? Not just to spread their beliefs, but to silence anyone who stood in their way. Let's start at the beginning, where the Zizians first took root and where their mission started twisting into something far darker than anyone expected. Welcome to True Crime Exposed, where we investigate the darkest corners of real-life criminal cases and uncover the truths others fear to ask. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. The Zizians are a radical, cult-like group led by former computer engineer Jack "Ziz" LaSota, known for blending fringe science, anarchist ideology, and extreme philosophical beliefs. They emerged online through Reddit forums and encrypted chats, preaching concepts like uni-hemispheric sleep deprivation, dual-gender brain theory, and distrust of government, AI, and societal norms. What began as abstract digital discourse quickly turned real and violent. In just a few years, the Zizians have been linked to multiple murders, interstate crimes, and shootouts with federal agents. They're not just a movement. They are, in the eyes of law enforcement, a dangerous ideological network pushing boundaries between thought and terror. In 2022, in the city of Vallejo, California, a disturbing event unfolded that would mark the beginning of a series of violent incidents linked to the enigmatic group known as the Zizians. Curtis Lynn, an 80-year-old landlord, had allowed members of the Zizians to reside on his property, living in converted box trucks. However, tensions escalated when the tenants ceased paying rent and began asserting control over the premises. Lynn's attempts to reclaim his property led to a confrontation that would leave an indelible mark on the community. On November 13, 2022, Lynn was lured to his property under the pretense of addressing a water leak. There, he was ambushed by Zizian members Suri Dow, Alexander Somni Leatham, and Emma Burhanian. The attackers struck Lynn in the head, stabbed him multiple times, and impaled him through the chest with a samurai sword. Despite his severe injuries, Lynn managed to retrieve his firearm, fatally shooting Burhanian and injuring Leatham in what authorities deemed an act of self-defense. Patrick McMillan, Lynn's 81-year-old friend and tenant, testified about the harrowing scene he encountered that morning. He described finding Lynn with the sword protruding from his chest and blood pouring from a severe head wound. McMillan's urgent 911 calls captured the gravity of the situation as he pleaded for immediate medical assistance. Lynn survived the attack, but lost his right eye and endured numerous stab wounds. His resilience, however, would be tested again. In the early afternoon of January 17, 2025, Curtis Lynn, an 82-year-old landlord from Vallejo, California, was found fatally stabbed outside his property. This tragic event occurred just days before he was scheduled to testify against former tenants accused of a violent attack on him in 2022. Authorities allege that Maximilian Snyder, a 22-year-old data scientist with ties to the Zizians, orchestrated Lynn's murder to prevent his testimony. Snyder, reportedly dressed in black and wearing a mask, is accused of ambushing Lynn as he exited his vehicle, stabbing him multiple times before slitting his throat. This brutal sequence of events underscores the lengths to which the Zizians would go to silence dissent and protect their ideology. Just 3 days after the murder of Curtis Lynn in California, the Zizians were implicated in another deadly incident, this time on the opposite side of the country. On January 20th, 2025, U.S. Border Patrol agent David Maland initiated a traffic stop on Interstate 91 in Coventry, Vermont, near the Canadian border. The vehicle, a blue 2015 Toyota Prius registered in North Carolina, was occupied by two individuals, Teresa Youngblood, a 21-year-old from Seattle, and Ophelia Bachholt, a 26-year-old German national and former quantitative trader. Law enforcement had been surveilling the pair since January 14th, after reports from a hotel employee in Lyndonville, Vermont, described them wearing all-black tactical clothing and carrying firearms. Despite contact from Homeland Security agents, Youngblood and Bauchholt refused to engage, stating they were in Vermont to purchase real estate. During the traffic stop, Agent Milan discovered that Bauchholt's visa appeared to have expired in the Homeland Security database. As Milan attempted to verify their information, Youngblood allegedly drew a handgun and opened fire. In the ensuing shootout, both Agent Milan and Bauchholt, a Zizian member, were killed. Youngblood sustained injuries and was taken into custody. Agent David Milan, age 44, was a United States Air Force veteran and had served with the Department of Homeland Security for 15 years. His death marked the first fatal shooting of a Border Patrol agent in the line of duty since 2014. This confrontation further exposed the Zizians' capacity for violence and their growing threat to public safety. A search of their vehicle revealed a cache of tactical gear, including night vision equipment, walkie-talkies, loaded magazines, and smartphones wrapped in aluminum foil, presumably to prevent tracking. The firearms used in the incident were reportedly purchased by Michelle Zizians, another associate of the Zizians, who has been linked to multiple violent incidents across the country, including the death of her parents. Richard and Rita Zizians, who were parents to Michelle Zizians, were shot and killed inside their home in December 2022. The daughter of a Pennsylvania couple, whose deaths are among 6 connected to a cult-like group, says she has been falsely accused of killing her parents. Michelle Zizians' denial was part of a 20-page handwritten, open letter to the world her attorney provided to the Associated Press on Tuesday. Dated March 9th, the letter also attempts to defend Jack LaSota, also known as Ziz, whom authorities have described as the apparent leader of the extremist group called the Zizians. "You, the public, are being lied to," Zizians wrote, "and while I don't promise to answer all your questions, I think the truth about my friends and I will make a lot more sense than what you've been reading about in the papers." On February 16, 2025, a significant breakthrough occurred in the investigation into the Zizians. Jack Ziz LaSota, the alleged leader of the group, was arrested in Frostburg, Maryland, alongside associates Michelle Zizians and Daniel Blank. The trio faced charges including trespassing, obstruction, and firearm possession. The arrest unfolded after a local property owner reported 3 individuals parking box trucks on his land without permission. Upon arrival, Maryland State Police discovered the suspects wearing tactical gear and in possession of firearms. LaSota and Zizians were found inside one of the trucks, initially hesitating to comply with officers' commands. A subsequent search revealed a long rifle and a loaded Sig Sauer P.365 handgun. During the bail hearing, the judge deemed LaSota a flight risk, citing her previous attempt to fake her own death in 2022. LaSota had been declared legally dead after a supposed drowning incident in the San Francisco Bay, only to resurface months later. Prosecutors also highlighted her connections to multiple violent incidents across several states in the U.S. LaSota, who identifies as a transgender woman, requested a vegan diet while in custody, stating she was in a mild state of delirium due to lack of food. She maintained her innocence, telling the judge, "I haven't done anything wrong." The arrest of LaSota marked a pivotal moment in the investigation, bringing the alleged leader of the Zizians into custody and offering hope for justice for the victims. Authorities continue to investigate the group's activities, seeking to unravel the full extent of their operations and connections. Now the update, the key developments regarding the case. As of April 2025, the legal landscape surrounding the Zizians remains complex and evolving. Multiple members face serious charges across various states, with trials pending for crimes including murder and attempted murder. In California, the trial of Alexander Somni Leatham and Suri Dow is underway. They stand accused of the 2022 attempted murder of landlord Curtis Lind and the felony murder of fellow Zizian member Emma Borhanian, who was killed during the altercation. Prosecutors aim to prove that Alex Leatham and Suri Dow are responsible for the death of their friend Emma Borhanian. The case has been marked by courtroom disruptions and allegations of mistreatment, including claims by Leatham of being subjected to forced detransitioning while in custody. The prosecution's key witness, Patrick McMillan, an 81-year-old friend of Lynn, provided testimony despite health challenges and memory lapses. His account of discovering Lynn severely injured adds a poignant dimension to the proceedings. In Vermont, Teresa Youngblood faces federal charges related to the January 2025 shootout that resulted in the deaths of U.S. Border Patrol agent David Milan and Zizian member Ophelia Bachholt. Youngblood, who was wounded and arrested at the scene, has pleaded not guilty. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, investigations continue into the 2023 deaths of Richard and Rita Zajko, parents of alleged Zizian member Michelle Zajko. While Zajko has been named a person of interest, she denies involvement and claims the accusations are fabrications. The FBI and other law enforcement agencies are actively working to unravel the Zizians network, seeking to understand the full extent of their activities and prevent further incidents. The public watches closely as the legal system endeavors to bring clarity and justice to this intricate and unsettling case. Stay tuned on True Crime Exposed for updates on this case and more true crime stories that delve into the depths of human behavior and the pursuit of justice. See you in the next video.